All right, here in the upper left, I actually had a player with the Padres who does a similar thing that Carter Capps is doing. His name was Thayer, and he actually wound up pitching in the big leagues for about 6 or 7 seasons. As we take it back, in the frame rates here aren't exactly the same, uh, but you can see they're both jumping off the rubber essentially. Okay. And again, it's really just their push off of the rubber. Um, they again get off of the rubber and then land. You can see Caps's back foot is still square, so he stays even more square than what Thayer did driving off. But it's really just part of the push off that they're using to create the momentum. So um, even in the traditional motion, your foot isn't on the rubber as you let it go. So I don't really think that, as long as it's one fluid motion, I guess you could maybe argue that the argument would be that he's not fluid here coming off the rubber would be the argument. But as far as stopping this, no pitcher's foot is still on the rubber. So really this is whether it's Thayer or Capps, and I think Capps is a little bit more there's a little bit more of a delay with what Capps did, but they're both jumping off the rubber and then landing, so you can see the great distance they both create off the rubber. But as far as legislating this, no pitcher is on the rubber as they release the ball. Okay, so you can see even our traditional motion here, he's way off of the rubber, and it's still just they're creating momentum with their back leg, driving in a straight line at their target. They're pushing off hard essentially, and then when he's not getting here and re-pushing off the back leg, so it's not like he's re-pushing. That leg's holding very little weight. It's just slipping. His leg is holding very little weight, and so it's just a more extreme way of driving into the front side, really. Okay, so he's pushing off here. He's really driving to the front side. Then he lands, and all the momentum. So this leg lands. Front femur pushes on front of pelvis, opens the hips up from the front. So it's just a more extreme way of creating the momentum. And it creates a little bit of a delay. You can see how as Capps is jumping off, there's a real delay in the body opening up. So it's obviously the timing of it all is very different, but essentially it's the same thing. The back leg is driving energy at its target.